The moment that I realized that I had to leave my marriage was not even about me. It's the day I looked at my daughter and thought, if she ever grows up to believe that this is love, I can never forgive myself. Back when I was in my marriage, it was the darkest days of my life. I felt the absolute lowest of my life. I was in severe depression. My anxiety was through the roof, and I just felt like I couldn't get out of bed most days. I realized that I lost myself somewhere throughout, and it was terrifying to feel so lost in myself. Whenever I would do things in my marriage, I would get gaslit so bad. And so I started not to trust my own self. I didn't know what was really right from wrong, because I would say, oh, I just saw this. And they would come back and gaslight me and be like, oh, no, you didn't. It happened this way. And so that really messed with my mind. And the abuse, the emotional, mental, financial, physical, all of it was absolutely terrible. My depression had gotten so bad that there were days that I just didn't feel like I could even move my finger or get out of bed. And then my daughter would come in and want to play, and it would be so upsetting because I would either be so numb while I was playing and I wasn't fully present and taking in the joy of the moment. And so those moments were getting stolen from me. Or I would always tell her mommy was sick and laying in bed because mommy couldn't get out of bed. And that was not what I wanted for my daughter. I didn't want her to have a sick mommy. I didn't want her to come ask me to play and I couldn't because I was so severely depressed. I would go into a room of so many of my support system, so many people that loved me and absolutely would do the world for me, but yet I felt so damn alone. And no matter how much the things they were doing used to fill my cup, they weren't filling my cup anymore. Then one day, me and my ex-husband were in a fight, and I was getting yelled at for, Lord only knows what I was getting yelled at for. I could breathe and I'd get yelled at. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, if my daughter were to be in like high school and come home and she had a boyfriend that treated her like this, because that's what she saw that was sitting there and that was, what's the word I'm looking for? That was modeled to her and that was her model of love, I would never forgive myself. She deserves to see a happy, healthy love, even if that's me loving myself. At that time, I did not realize that, but that was the exact moment that I realized I needed to get out of the marriage that I was in, and that I needed to put myself and my daughter first, because she deserved that healthy model of love. But getting out was not even close to easy. I had so many feelings of fear, so many emotions that I didn't even know how to explain what they were. I didn't really know how to sit with my emotions. Emotions were never a really big thing in my household growing up. We never were talking about our emotions. So I didn't know how to properly have these emotions and sit with them and feel them and heal them and work through them. So everything kind of bottled up at once until I really started focusing on myself. But when I started focusing on myself, all I knew was I had no clue where I was going. I had no clue how I was going to get there. I didn't even know what I had to do the next day. All I knew was that I had to do better for my daughter. And so I knew I had to change something. So the biggest thing I could do was start little step, tiny, minute step, and just focus on that step. I couldn't even focus on a full day. It was so bad. So little step by little step, I eventually got to where I am now today and have healed so much of that trauma that I went through. I still have triggers. I'm still in the middle. I'm still learning. But I absolutely have loved, now that I'm looking back on it, the journey that it has taken me on and the personal growth and how I've completely transformed into a different human. I used to be so timid and just afraid, and that was not me at all. But now I'm more extroverted. I talk more. I engage more. I do things more. And I might still be a crazy homebody that loves staying out here at home, but I am just not as timid. I will speak up for myself now. So maybe you're in your own rock bottom right now. If you take anything from this little bit, an overview of my story, let it be this. You are not stuck forever, my girl. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and let's walk through this healing journey together.